Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with a special cup of the day because it is actually a map that I built myself. It is my track I built on stream called Box to Box, and here we are to watch the players battle it out for today's cup of the day. I decided to not partake in this myself, so I will immediately retire in the first round so we can spectate the drivers go at it, because I'm genuinely interested in seeing how the drivers are going to perform, how fast, how swiftly the people are going to learn this map as well, and just watch a bit of good racing. So I'm just going to be sitting here in the spectator booth. Obviously it is a bit of a weird thing, like it's not the best way for me to spectate this because I essentially take away one spot in the top 64. There's no way for me to join the server as a spectator, as an outsider, without qualifying myself in the time attack. So unfortunately I had to go that way. But yeah, we're gonna watch the cup of the day today. I'm not gonna play myself. Obviously, I'm afraid of losing on my own map. People in the chat pointed it out already. I'm definitely scared of losing. So we're gonna sit in the RTL commentator box for today. And let's see what people are gonna burn into the asphalt here. Okay. Okay, I see French. I see hello gamers. So this is the top 64 server. 62 players made it onto the server already. This is the map from above. The general concept of this map was to have two boxes, which is why it's called box to box. And in the first box we have dirt, a crunchy technical dirt section, which flows nicely once you hit the correct line. Can be a bit harder to pick up as a beginner player, but it's definitely also a good way to learn dirt. Then we have a drift in the mid part after a booster. You can also decide to not drift this and just release the accelerator. That also works. So you have two choices, either drift or release. Another tight drift to the left, followed by an ice section surrounded by cute penguins and snowmen. And here it's all about taking the correct bobsleigh line and stay in between the two red lines in both banked ice corners. Then we have a simple grass section followed by a reactor boost loop. And then we enter the final dirt cave, the second box once again, with another dirt section where it's important to hold the gear and then you boink into the finish ring. So that's basically the map from above. It's a map that I particularly built with Cup of the Day in mind. So I was hoping to get this one in, because I do believe it's a competitive map. However, it might take a few attempts to get all those lines done. It's certainly not the easiest map out there, but also not the hardest one. And the good thing about this one is that you won't find yourself struggle with any speed checks or something. So that is something I definitely try to avoid. So every part of the map can be driven at any speed. And I also drove the author time slowly on purpose, so that more people have a shot at actually getting the green here. So let's turn on the ghost here. This is the warm-up round. As per usual in Cup of the Day, we're gonna begin with 4 eliminations per round. All the drivers start at the same time, and we will play it out until the last man is standing. Should have no-lifed the author time? Nah. We've already seen in the past maps with hard author times are being hated by people who think author times should be handed out for free. So I made it a bit easier, but still not for free. So here we see Down, who did play this map already. I have released this map a few days ago. And valued members of my community have already played and time attacked this map, so we have a few players definitely in an advantage here, which is obviously inevitable, because for a map to be picked for track of the day, it has to be released first of all. And when it's released, then it does get played by people. There's no way around it. So here we go with the first round. We're just gonna see how everything goes. And may the best player win. So I'm gonna retire right here. And we will kick it off with the first round. 58 players are kicking it off here. And we see lots of drivers picking the correct line at the start already. Coco right now being the player in the back has already made a mistake at the start. We see Spam, I think his game crashed. That is unfortunate. And Hugo finding himself in the back as well. But now Grenady is in the red position. The wheel champion will have to do a bit of catching up here, coming towards the highest part of the map, where we enter the grass part using the ramp, get the reactor boost, and then through the loop, stay center, and use the penalty dirt, the sand, to slow the car down, and then stay as high as possible on the banking. Stay in 4th gear to maintain all speed you gathered beforehand, and then finish. Afi wins this round with a 52.64, followed by Gren. Gren? Who's Gren? I mean Bren. Unbelievable. So yeah, I am out. Unbelievable. Alright, next round coming up. And we already saw a couple bonks here right at the start. We can do the follow all to see where all the players are at. We see Down pretty far back to go together with 7 and Shorty. As we now exit the first box, go into the second one. Sappy now with a respawn. And loading JK with very low speed coming out of the drift section. Shadow Crancer very far ahead here. He is one of the players who have played the map already, and he is also one of the contenders to possibly win today's Cup of the Day, as he is a very good player and he put a lot of time into practicing this map. Seems like it definitely paid off. So far we see Shadow Crancer maintaining as much speed as possible, finishing with a 52.30, which is 6/10 faster than Grenady, Bren, Insanity, and everyone else. Crazy. Very good time. Alright. So, going into the next round. 52 players remaining. Let's take a look at the overview once again. Some smaller mistakes, some small bonks here in the back. Nerms 23 with a hit on the outside, together with Sappy once again in the back. But other than that, the field is very stacked. Let's take a look at a player perspective. Ice TM going through the ice. Finding himself in the midfield right now. 13th place. Wiggling on the grass to gain a little bit more speed. Oh, Shadow Crancer with the hit in the last corner. And Ice with a very good ending. In fact, pushing himself up to 3rd place. We see Down winning this one in front of Jozo, Ice himself, and Grenady once again with a top 4 position. We're losing Hugo, Azion, Nerms 23, and Skydrew. And that is a Marple with a tier 3 resubscription for 3 years in a row. 3 year of tier 3 support. Massive hype by Marple, thank you very much. Ooh, Insanity with a lot of lag, unfortunately. I wonder if he's going to be able to find it back to the field somehow. But if not, then this could be the end for Insanity. Chillhase. Very, very good run here by him. He went up to 7th place. And in the back we see Jaja, Anix, and Jozo. This is going to be a hard one to catch up. Jozo also not with the greatest approach into the grass section. And that is not looking good. He might be facing... No, he is not facing elimination as we have Solo 23-101. Now making a mistake as well, and that will be the F. At the front we see Evon with the fastest time, 52.56. Kaku, Worker, and Scrappy for the top 4. And yeah, that is not looking good for Insanity. He is unfortunately disconnected. And yeah, he's out. Solo, Jaja, Insanity, and Anix. Alright, let's take a look at some player perspectives. Maybe Shorty, who is usually a good player in the knockout formats. Also placed 2nd in one of the recent cups of the day with the NASCAR map that you were able to drive backwards. So we see Shorty right now in the midfield taking the jump down the hill, and that was a massive hit in the drift section. No slide, straight into the trees. And that one is of course being punished very, very badly. Shorty looking good so far. We see, or we shortly saw Joran Witte there on the red position. Scoreboard having a small stroke right there, but good looking round for Shorty. We see Wawa on, what is this, 42nd place? Looking to be eliminated. Wow, that scoreboard is really bad. But it looks like Wawa is indeed facing elimination. Yep, he is. Sappy out, Link out, and Neuro is out as well. Alright, next round. Let's take a look at Afi. Also a very, very strong player. Swiss player from Team BDS. Rocking the Trackmania Grand League car skin. Actually, recently they have released some sort of official car skin package for Trackmania Grand League fans. This is one of them, and Afi with a beautifully executed section to the right there. Opts for the no drift and small release approach. But Shadow Crancer with incredible speed in the bobsleigh, pushing himself up to 1st place. Evon on 3rd, now with the inside attack line, passing Afi for that 3rd place, and also Kaku is in the mix right now. Very good fight for the top 4 right now. Shadow Crancer really far ahead though, and if he continues that pace, he will definitely have a chance at winning this whole thing. Superall, Marizi, Jozo, and Kainri right now on the red positions, and once again a good time here by Shadow Crancer, 52.48. And all the other players have made it through as well. Now coming up to the top 36 of the Cup of the Day. Using the follow all perspective this time once again. Do we see any mistakes at the start? Yes, Chillhase and Brandom hitting in turn 1. Touching on the outside, obviously in the first downhill. You want to stay on the outside, and Afi now on dead last place after touching in the dirt. Now facing elimination. Afi having to hope for a mistake from some of the players, otherwise he might have to say goodbye, but he is catching up on the ice section. If we take a look at the back, Afi now already having snacked on 2 people. Chillhase now the next player on his target list. There's one respawn by Thomas Jean. And other than that, it's going to be an exciting fight for the midfield as well. Firestorm, also with a Trackmania Grand League car skin. And to quickly pick up on the dirt lines, a lot of the dirt turns are actually built in mind with a wide line. So for example, in the first downhill, you want to stay wide in order to stay in 3rd gear. And that way you can carry the most possible speed throughout the entire dirt section. Avoid hitting the bumps, try to stay on the ground for the most part. And the same goes for the ending as well, where you have to go really high to keep the speed. So we saw Afi go out here after placing very nicely in the previous round. Now Afi is dead. Very unfortunate for him, but I think it's a good map for Afi. Perhaps he's gonna give the time attack a shot, because this track is obviously also available for track of the day. And Shadow Crancer with the DNF, ladies and gentlemen. Shadow Crancer saying that he did a Riolu, so he DNF'd by accident. Oh my god. That is a big upset by Shadow Crancer, as we have Darker also with a DNF. And in the back of the field we have Shiny Me, we have Mika and Grenady. So lots of big names being eliminated in this round once again. What an upset by Shadow Crancer. Unbelievable. So much practice, and now when it matters you hit the DNF button by accident. Oi 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 oi. Grenady also dead, so yeah, this one definitely took its toll on some players. And we're moving on, round 10 out of 23 with the 28 best players. Chillhase with a very aggressive line, I'm not sure what he was trying there. Chillhase not doing what I just talked about, going wide in the downhill to maintain ground contact. And Chillhase now dead last. Oh wow, 2 people out already. That is good for Chillhase. Chayrim and Brandon both finding themselves in the bush. Chillhase now moving up 3 positions. Now he only needs to pass one more player and he will be in the green once again. We see Jazunio and Dizrod with low speed. Chillhase is on a mission. Is he gonna make it though? This round is gonna be do or die between these 2 players, Jazunio and Chillhase, almost inside of each other. The last corner is going to decide if we see Chillhase with a bit more speed going into the corner, but Jazunio has a bit more exit speed, and Jazunio will stay ahead by just a hair. That was not even 1/10 of a second, 500ths of a second between Jazunio and Chillhase, and that was one very spicy ending to this round. Bren winning the round here with a 52.70. And a good question in the chat, there has not been any sign of Gwen so far. I was pretty sure he made it in, but we don't know. Top 24. Round number 11, let's spectate Elcon, who placed very nicely in these cups lately. A very talented player, and as you can see, he does put his talent to a portray as he pushes these corners to the limits, and currently finds himself on P5, P6. Right ahead we see Scrappy and Bren and Evon, so 3 Trackmania Grand League players currently fighting it out for the victory, but Bren looking really solid. Dog with lots of speed though, Dog with a super aggressive line, and it did pay off for the German Dog here. That was some very spicy driving, and we see a great battle for first between Bren, Evon and Dog. And we have Jazunio now going out, together with Dizrod, Hunter and Quentin. As a fellow Riolo viewer, you had to pull off a Riolo. Yeah. No? Fuck. That's unlucky, man, but what can you do? Alrighty. Coming up to the next round. Down. Currently on last place. And he needs to do a lot of catching up here, as he's nowhere close to the field. And doesn't really seem to catch up to anyone else. Shorty also in a danger position together with Dog and Joran. Joran, however, with very good speed, actually going up to the yellow position so far. Doesn't go as high as required, though. This is going to be very, very tight for Joran, but he is still in, only by 0.04 of a second. Richie also just made it by a split second. Down, Firestorm, Mika, and Elcon. 4 big names out, and now we're coming to the point of the cup where only 2 players will get eliminated. Now, one mistake could already be the GG, because all these players have mastered the map and they know what they're doing. Now it's going to be very, very difficult for players to survive if they made a mistake. So we see a Richie right now, the perfect example, 1 second behind. And the next mistake for Richie, actually, hitting with his back end on the outside wall. And now it's only Lego who can make something happen, going from the red up to 14th place right now. Nice and aggressive line though, keeping a lot of speed through the grass. Bresso now on the hot seat position. Dog too far behind. And unless something happens in the ending, it will be the GG for Dog and Richie. There they go. Scrappy winning the round in front of Bren, Energize and Taurus. And we say goodbye to Dog and Richie. Funny how all the cars are just flying around in the end, because the reactor boost is still activated. That's funny. Was kind of intended, actually. Top 14. Camera is on Sika. Let's see what he can do. Good start by him. Someone went very wide, I'm not sure who that was. But the wide line, from my experience, is not the best choice there. Taurus right now in the back. And yeah, the current world record on this track is a 51.88 by Ornix. That is a very, very fast time. Obviously, you don't really see times like these being driven in the live rounds, as it involves very, very risky lines. And Joran not hitting the angle, and that is the GG. Taurus apparently having made the same exact mistake. And unfortunately, we will have to say goodbye to Joran and Taurus, both having made massive, massive mistakes. All the other players basically have the free round here. Bren taking it again. So Bren looking very hot on box to box. He could potentially take home his next Cup of the Day victory. I think he does have 2, 3, 4 wins under his belt already. This could be another snack for one of the best players in the game right now. Let's put the camera on Worker. Seemingly a keyboard player. Has not gotten the best of starts, and neither did Shorty, who struggled with the bump on the dirt a little bit. So in order to get the optimal lines in the dirt, you do need a bit of experience how to handle the gears and how to handle the grip optimally to get the most possible speed out of that part. But right now this round is looking very, very good. We see Shorty with a bit of a wonky approach there, but manages to stay intact, passes Loic. But needs to pass another one. Bresso, his countryman right now, right up ahead. Shorty going a little bit wider into the looping. Lots of speed through the penalty sand, and now it's all going to come down to the ending. We see Shorty versus Marius. Shorty might have a bit more speed there, indeed. Shorty with more speed, passing Marius 89 in the ending. That was one big, big overtake by Shorty. Well needed to stay in, and he actually did pull off the risky line and did get rewarded at the end of the day. Marius out. Top 10. Ooh, someone missed the start. Lego has slept through the start. Lego in the back already. 0.4 deficit. Scrappy finding himself in the wrong gear, and this is really punishing. Being in the wrong gear is a big, big punishment here at the start, and the Belgian player Scrappy now dead last. Ooh, super Karlouf. Very, very far behind now. Big mistake by Carl. One of the players who competed in the Trackmania Grand League Combine now definitely out of the Cup of the Day, and it's also not looking good for Scrappy. 1.4 seconds behind and a big gap up to 8th. Everyone else can basically take it easy. Any mistake at this point is extremely unnecessary. And all the players know that. Shorty, for some reason, losing out on a lot of speed on the finish straight, but that is it for Scrappy and Carl. Lego is still in, despite having missed the start, so that's also something. And for those who noticed, or for those who didn't notice, the spawn position is indeed altered. I have edited the start block so you start further on the right, which allows for a better angle into the dirt section. But it seems like people still struggle with it. The dirt section definitely not easy to do right. And 3 mistakes now at the start. Shorty, Evon and Lego, all 3 having a bit of an issue here at the start. But at this point, only one player will face elimination. Right now, it is Bresso, who is 2.8 seconds behind. And this is going to be difficult to catch up, as he continues to lose speed on the ice due to the fact that he's a keyboard player. In the bobsleigh sections, it is beneficial to use an analog device to maintain better grip and better acceleration through the banked corners. And everyone else is making it home, bringing it home. And the winning time is a 52.88 by Energize in front of Sika, Worker, Bren, Evon, Lego and Shorty. Bresso is out. Lego still in. But now he definitely needs to step it up a little, as he's rocking the MDR Trigram, goes wide. He's the player who went wide at the start, trying to build up a bit more speed, but as you can see, it doesn't really work out. You don't really need more speed at that point, because otherwise you might run into gear issues. Or it's just, you know, the balance between a tight and wide line is not really being found there. So Lego right now on P7. And this is going to be a hard one to catch up. Nobody with a mistake here. Ooh, very, very tight line by Lego. I almost thought he's going to hit the leg of the checkpoint. But he's still well in. Catching up to Evon, actually big time. Lego with the aggressive inside approach, but it's not going to be enough here, as he didn't really get the required exit speed. And that is the GG for Lego. 0.87 behind. He was already, you know, a little bit in a struggle, and now he's definitely out of the Cup of the Day. Top 6. Who's gonna get the start right? We see slightly different approaches, but altogether everyone has figured out how to hold third gear through the entire section, which is what was intended at the end of the day. Very nice line by Worker, a nice flat drift, letting him keep a lot of speed, and that could be the F for Sika here. Sika in the back of the field. And he might be facing elimination. P6 for Sika by the looks of it. Shorty 0.5 behind. Energizing fourth, and at the front a nice battle between Worker, Evon and Bren. But Worker takes it home with a 52.72. Great ending by him. Bren and Evon following behind. Sika finishes the Cup of the Day on P6. And we're coming up to the last couple rounds here. It is getting more and more intense. Bren with a very nice start. Great grip management by Bren. Goes a bit wide here. As you can see, the other players are temporarily catching up. But right now, Bren with the fastest beginning. Worker once again. He definitely worked out that drift the best. because he's always catching up to the others. And what a battle we have here. We have Shorty with the lowest amount of speed out of the ice, but anything can happen in the ending. We have a 3-man battle between Worker, Energize, and Shorty. And also Evon is not too far behind, so everything will be decided in the ending. As we see Worker now with a bit of a wider approach, trying to maintain more speed. And it is looking good as we have Shorty with the inside line. And Worker is most likely going to stay ahead, but just by a little bit here. Almost every player under 53 seconds. And that is the last German player out of the competition, Shorty taking P5. Very, very good round. No mistake by anyone. And I would love for the rounds to keep going exactly like this. As we go into round 21 out of 23. And all 4 players managed to get the start. We have 3 French-speaking player and 1 Polish player in the name of Evon for Team Secret. And Energize now with a massive struggle. Also Evon might have to release there a little bit. Not the greatest angle for Evon, as he's also struggling with the ice a little bit. Not the greatest line for the Polish player, and will get passed by Energize by a massive, massive margin. Great speed development there by Energize, and Evon will get pushed down to last place. It will come down to the ending once again. Very, very exciting to see Evon with a bit more speed going over the sand. The last corner is going to be decisive once again. Evon might actually have it here, even though Energize might have a bit more speed, and I think Energize has it. Yes, he does. Energize has gotten a slightly better ending, just a few more kilometers an hour, and that is enough to pass Evon, and that is now the F, the GG for Evon, as he gets 4th in today's Cup of the Day. A French-only podium in the names of Bren, Worker, and Energize. All players very, very consistent so far, but as I say it, I do indeed jinx Energize, who is now also going to have struggle getting back into 3rd gear. Touches the wall again, and this is definitely the GG. Energize is out of this one, and that means we are going to have our final between Bren and Worker. And by looking at raw performance, I think Bren will have the upper hand. Worker has been consistent, but Bren was simply faster. He is the player who mastered this map the best, and now it is his chance to prove it, to take home another Trophy 7 and win home. To win a Cup of the Day again. There they go, Bren, the only player under 53, and that is going to be the grand final between Bren and Worker. Very, very exciting. Who is going to take this one home on box to box? Very cool to see all these battles happening, and I'm hoping for a very exciting last round between these 2 players. Here we go into the first round. Bren with a very tight line this time around. Is this going to be enough to hold the gear? No, Bren loses the gear already. He has always had the best starts, and now Bren actually loses the gear. Drops to 2nd gear for a short period of time. And now he needs a miracle and a half to happen, as he's 0.4 behind. And that is something I totally did not expect to see. Worker, however, is actually struggling with the ice. Worker with super low speed, and Bren actually with the chance to win the cup once again. We have a neck-and-neck battle, only 0.05 of a second at the checkpoint. Worker still slightly ahead. It will all be decided in the ending. Worker going very wide, very far to the left, and that allows Bren to take over that first place. But Bren with a very tight line. I think Worker might have it. Worker has more speed, and Worker will get it. Worker wins the Cup of the Day. What a battle. Not even the greatest times here. 53.16 is the winning time. That is more than 1.3 seconds slower than the world record. Both players having struggled a lot in certain parts of the map. It was Bren with a bad start and Worker with a bad mid. And that ending has basically been decided by whoever took the last dirt corner higher and made use of the banking more, and that was Worker. So he's gonna win, I think, his first Cup of the Day. Bren with a 2nd place, and that was definitely a very nice battle to watch here in the end. GG.